Social workers develop their own personal and professional identities by examining and taking positions on controversial issues. During the 1960s, social workers and social work minded people united to help push a progressive agenda. Connecting that with two examples is the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and 1965. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 set to end segregation in public places. Title VII of this act banned employment discrimination based on race, religion, sex, national origin, or color. This act protects job applicants and employees. July 2nd, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed by President Lyndon Johnson. This overall basis of the act was to end discrimination in public places and began educational and public integration. At this time, this act was considered revolutionary and daring. This act was directly targeting the African American population, and a big push to sign this act was for their access to the ballot. While this was a push forward for the minority community, the act still ignored women in education. The Civil Rights Act of 1965 was signed by President Lyndon Johnson in the 6th of August. This act outlawed the discriminatory voting practices that was set in many southern states post-Civil War. This included literacy tests as a prerequisite to voting. The Senate passed the bill 77 to 19, and only senators representing southern states voted against this act. This act aimed to overcome legal barriers at the state and local levels that prevented African Americans from exercising their right to vote as guaranteed under the 15th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. It is considered one of the most far-reaching pieces of civil rights legislation in U.S. history. One of the most famous protests to pass this act was ran by Martin Luther King Jr. on his march through Selma. Current issues that social workers and us as citizens find ourselves shaping our identities around is the 15 million Americans that lack health care insurance, or knowing that 40% of persons from foster care at age 18 become homeless in the next 3 years. Political affiliation and ideology are the main contributors to the way we view social issues. Politics have created a strong schism in the country, making it more difficult to be united in our thinking. It is much harder to move the progressive agenda in modern society due to the schism in thinking. Social workers' personal and professional identities can differ or be the same.